Yo, what's up? What's happening, people? D to them, working it out again. And let's see, let's zoom in here. Yeah, if I can get it to zoom in. No, listen. That's fine, whatever. Mm. Oh, man. That's funny. Let's see here. Okay, not this. Nope, not that. Try this maybe. A little light on the subject. A little better. That might be better. Let me know if that's better or if that's worse. All right. Working it out. What's happening? Just working on some comic book stuff here. Getting out a page a day. At least an illustration a day. So if you're about that kind of thing, watching somebody draw over their shoulder, just unscripted and off the chain, off the hook improvisation, drawing as drawing is a thing. Well, actually, this is planned out, so it's not necessarily improvisation. It's yeah, planned out. So, but this is what I do. Welcome. Any questions? Feel free to ask. Hey, what's happening there, Cavalera? Cavalera. Gracias, Cavalera. ¿Cómo estás usted? I hope you're feeling good. I hope you're having a good day. And thanks, yeah, for joining the live stream. I enjoy having company while I do this because it gets really lonely doing this kind of thing. So yeah, I appreciate the company. All right. What's happening, Jonathan? How you feel? Hey, thanks, man. I appreciate that. You're not my favorite spectator, viewer. See how easy that was? All right. This is a book I'm working on here. This is a promotional. I could use it for a cover or what have you, but I think I'm gonna. It could be a panel. It could be a page turn too. A even number page. If you're familiar with how comic books work, all even number pages are potential payoffs, right? The odd number, which is usually the right-hand page, is the page flip. Flip it over, payoff. This could be a payoff page. We'll see. We'll see how it works. It's basically our heroes, Devi and her trusty, loyal protocol android, running from danger that they somehow got themselves in, probably trying to do a good deed. It's action and adventure and comedy galore. You try to watch young Devi get out of, potentially fatal situations. So, potentially, she's very smart for her age. So, she finds very creative ways of getting out of very sticky situations. In this case, her trusty protocol droid, Twix, short for his number, 216, issued series Astro Pendek. And that's all part of the canon of this particular story or property, whatever you want to call it. And we can see here, hopefully it's clear, a couple planets floating about. I don't think I'm going to render this logo. I just put it there for a placeholder just to see what it might look like. And I'll probably erase that at some point before inking, because I want the background behind these planets to be pretty much black. So, and look what I'm using for templates, right? You can use your Pyrex lids for templates, ellipse, right? Ellipses, like this one right here. So, this is the fun part, but I gotta remember where my clouds are, right? Okay, they don't interfere with the planet here. Actually, this isn't a planet, this is a satellite, more like a moon, floating around the planet that she is. And her and her robot are on at the moment, so. And I think I need a line here, right? Maybe here. We'll see. We can always white it out if we don't need it there. Right? Excuse me. And we have another template for this secondary satellite up here. This will do it. A little coaster here. Yeah, use whatever you got for your tools when you're working. Be surprised creative people find interesting ways around or to solve certain problems, right? It's part of the joy of doing this kind of thing is, like Bob Ross used to say, happy mistakes, or that kind of thing. And I'll be honest with you, you don't always come across those serendipitous moments, but it's a lovely thing when you do. So, yeah. Right? And she's got a little antenna right there. Alright, so Hey, so what are you guys up to today? Anyways, you guys having a wonderful day? Is it going well for you? Hopefully it is. For me, today's like any other day. Just doing the grind. And, you know, draw every day. Some people will tell you, don't draw every day. And I can say that that could be good advice. It could be. But I would have to disagree with it. I would say draw every day. Unless you're burnt out and you just don't want to. Right? That's the only time you should not draw, is when you just don't want to. But if you want to, then don't go listening to advice not to draw every day. Go ahead and draw every day until you don't want to. Me, for some reason, I always tend to want to, so even if I don't get to. So I try to take advantage of that. And when you draw every day, guess what? You get better. There is no helping that. And that's a good thing, right? It's a very wonderful thing. It's like all of a sudden, man, I've been drawing, man, I suck, man, I've been drawing for years and years. And then one day you're like, oh, snap, I'm kind of getting better. I'm actually kind of, oh, gee, I wonder how that happened, right? Because you draw every day. It's usually the way it happens, right? So, yeah, that's the reason why I would disagree with someone who says don't draw every day. Unless you don't want to, then fine, don't draw every day. Sometimes you have a day where you're just like, man, I don't feel like it. Right? For whatever reason that may be. And it could be any reason. Right? That you don't feel like drawing, so. Then I leave up to your discretion. Everyone's mileage may vary, not mileage may marry. I don't think that's a thing. Hopefully, you guys can hear me. I got Always Sunny in Philadelphia in the background, so I'm halfway trying not to pay attention, otherwise I'd be laughing so hard right now. Anybody from Philly out there? If so, shout out to Philly. Do their little East Coast swang. And wherever you are out there, whether it's Philly or Cali or anywhere around the world, welcome. Welcome. Welcome to my channel. This is DMRodriguez live drawing comic book stuff. Basically, I just draw and talk. Whatever I feel like talking about. I don't give much audience participation. Nobody really asks me any questions. At least the last couple of times I've been live streaming, I haven't had many questions. But feel free to ask if you want. Maybe my chat settings are set in some way that I'm not positive. Maybe you can. I don't know. I'll look at it. But yeah, if that's the case, I apologize thoroughly. Let's zoom out of here. Oops, zoom in. So we get a better look at what we have here, right? Just basic cityscape, outer space, alien planet, and a chase, right? I think it's really important when you're drawing anything, really. If you want to have something compelling and something readable so that people know. Even if they don't know what's going on in this particular instance, this image tells a story, right? Every image, even if it's just a close-up on a person's face, right, it should tell a story. It should be compelling to the point where people want to know, oh, gee, what panel goes before this? What panel comes after this? So pay attention and, just do your best. Kick it in. Right? Kick it in gear, man. And if you're not having fun doing this, then that's you could one of two reasons. You're either preoccupied by something else that's causing you not to be able to enjoy any art making process. In which case, yeah, take care of that. Find some kind of resolution for that. So once that's all, patched up and covered, you don't preoccupy with it anymore, whatever that is, you can sit down and enjoy doing this. And then a lot of times people might have, some kind of problem where they're like preoccupied with something, and doing something like this can take them out of that. And they're just, I'm that kind of person. It's like if something's bothering me that I'm having difficulty finding some kind of resolve, this is what I do. Just to separate myself from that situation to, not to, you don't want to just ignore stuff. You want to find a resolution, but sometimes it's very difficult. Sometimes you're waiting on somebody else, right? And when that's happening, you can do something you enjoy, right? And if that's playing baseball or, swimming, go do that, man. That's very important. For me, it's this. I'm the type of guy who will draw when I'm warming up, and then I'll draw while I'm cooling down. And if I'm burnt out on one project, I can't just not draw. I gotta work on something else, right? So my love for illustrating is not impeded by anything else. So if you're like that, you're that kind of person. Hey, what's happening? CG5, man. Sorry, man, I don't mean to be disrespectful. I just didn't see your post right there. But yeah, man, I appreciate you, man. You're welcome to the live stream, man. It's good to see you. What's going on with you today? Besides, surfing YouTube and checking out what's going on here. Saja boys? Hey, Saja boys, man, go for it, man. Draw, bro. I encourage that, man. That's the best thing to do when you, especially if you're trying to, I don't want to say trying, because we're not trying, are we? We are doing, all right? So, especially when you're making something that you want to publish and put out, yes, draw, man. Less talk, more draw. Actually, shut the all right, I don't want to curse because I think I'm open to, this is not a restricted video, so I will watch my language here. And, not just that, just to be respectful in all cases. In all cases, for whatever reason. So, yeah, we have these buildings. They're just buildings, there's nothing special about them. They can, be a modern building on our Earth, right? But what's going to kick it in and make it a little bit more special is how I'm going to color it, right? You can see we got planets back here. There's multi-light sources happening here. Obviously, her gun, her pellets are going to cause a light source, which will reflect off of her helmet, a rim light around his shoulder, and what have you. There'll be lights coming from the city. We have mist here, which will be playing with all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I'm already thinking about color, and I think anyone who illustrates like me, when they're drawing, when they're in the black and white, they're already thinking about color, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing to do, because that means by the time I get to coloring it, I have already have thought it out. Right now, when I'm inking these pencils, these penciling is already working everything out. Inking is just solidifying those decisions. Hey, what's happening, Steve? Steve boy. L. I'm the king of L's, man. Believe that. I am not ashamed to fail or lose because I ain't playing games, man. When you don't play games, you don't lose. You understand that? Does that kind of make sense? Hopefully it does. All right, how does that go? Can you guys see what I'm doing up there? Let me zoom in on that so you guys can see what's going on here. Right? This is gotta be very delicate with this, because this right here is about the size of a quarter or a 50-cent piece. So you're essentially drawing a miniature when you draw that small. And I encourage you to learn how to draw small. And if you're already a type of guy like me who does thumbnails a lot, then you already know how to do that. And if you don't, try it out, man. You'll be surprised on how much it'll make you aware of things that you're not aware of right now that will benefit you in your endeavor to illustrate. Yeah? Yeah. Yeah, feel free to ask me any questions in the comments. I was thinking I've been live streaming I think every day for maybe the last 3 or 4 days. And I really enjoy it, man. I really enjoy it. A lot of cool people on here, just like out of nowhere. So far I'm just drawing because I'm drawing anyway, so why not just live stream it? Our goal here is a page a day. So by the end of the day, this particular image here will be finished. So no ifs, ands, or buts. We take no L's here on this channel. See if these are giving off a light source, then I would say should probably have a highlight on her shoulder pad and her elbow pad here, right? Which they're black. Her shoulder pads are black, and all these pads here that she has are like a shiny black color. And I'm not gonna do that with this pen here. I will start spotting my darks areas with this brush. We're not there yet, so. All right. So once again, here's the full illustration, if you could see it, 11 by 17. Lots going on, but we're going to keep it simple. That is one of my rules here. To keep it simple as well. Keep it simple within its complexity. Complexity. Right? Because I mean, you're going to end up drawing complex things within your illustration, but at the same time, you still want to keep it simple, right? There's something harmonic about simple shapes, composed, right, in an appealing order. Now, it's hard to explain that. It's something you catch on your eye, right? It's something you catch. You either know, you see it. If you're not an illustrator, I know plenty of people, and they're usually people who appreciate art, right? And love comic books, or people that they have a good eye, don't know how to draw, but they know what they like, they know what they feel looks good. And these people are very important. A lot of them become editors, right, or critics. And as much as people might sour on these people, they very valuable people, right? They're needed. It's very needed in the industry, entertainment, especially entertainment industry, anything visual, because this is, to be honest with you, a lot of us get away with some whack crap. So we need editors and people like that to keep us sharp and tell us when we're doing a crap job. So yeah, I encourage you guys out there, if you see me, you do something that you're like, hey, wait a minute, that kind of looks off. Maybe you can fix, I don't know, pick anything that you think doesn't look right. Let me know, man. I appreciate it, I really do. Because I don't want my stuff going out there looking, looking janky. Right? And I think, anybody out there who has an idea, I appreciate it. I really do. And I actually need that kind of feedback to keep me, solid on my mark making. Shout outs to all the independent creatives out there. You, my friend, are very important. Keep creating and know that you're appreciated. And your your good works are not unseen. I see it. See a lot of good stuff coming out in the independent. And you know what? There's some good stuff coming out in the commercial end as well. For a minute that was looking kind of bleak, right? Of course, I ain't got nothing to complain about as far as manga is concerned, thus far. I know a lot of you out there are aspiring mangaka. And my friend, you are in for a serious fucking hard time in that industry. It's bad enough in America, drawing comic books anywhere. But manga, wow, that's a particular, realm in level of hell. Right? That's outside of any other level of illustrating. All right, so let's see here. Let's gather up what we're doing here. We have a bridgeway or something like right here, coming off here. So we want that to be, that structure needs to be refined. Bow. Boom. Okay, so just get that out of the way right quick so that we can get in with our brush and start rendering our shading. And this is just it. This is the grind, right? You're like, oh, dude, this guy's over here is going to sit here all day and draw this? Yeah, that's exactly what I'm going to do. And in no time, guess what? It's going to be done. That's what happens when you focus in on something, man. It's a wonderful thing. Try it sometime. You'll be amazed at how much you can accomplish when you sit your butt down and put your pen to a paper. Or, if you're working digital, that's cool too. It's all the same thing. You're creating something that has a finished outcome, something that's tangible, visible to the eye, and yeah, work on it. Do it. Because when you're not doing it, guess what? You're not doing it. Nothing. You're not creating unless you're doing that. So I encourage everyone out there to get busy. Because why not? Why not? Why not? Because if you don't do it, guess what? Someone else is gonna. I know I am. I know I am doing it, so let's do it together. All right? Might as well. So you got these little space guns here that shoot little plasma pellets. Plasma pellets, if you're not familiar, they're just basically hot. They look like a capsule. What keeps it together is basically the density. And obviously, energy source in these guns that power up and just spit hot plasma, which is basically a wet lightning, but in these form like this, so that whatever it hits, wow, depending on what it is, is not gonna be able to recover from that. Now she also has different gauges on here where she can stun, where these pellets will feel like I don't know, a fist to the head. So it'll knock you out, but it won't kill you. Maybe you'll get a little rash or burn because it's heat, ultimately. A solid form of heat. And if you're not familiar with that kind of stuff, there's plenty of stuff online. Just look up how plasma works. Hey, what's happening, Richard Whitcomb? Nice to see you. And I am a hacker. How are you? I would appreciate it if you'd hack me, but hey, man, that's just a request. I would really appreciate that if you didn't do that. Because I know how easy it is to do that. I've caught people on my network and I've done questionable things, Anyways, but that's a waste of my time. I ain't got time for that. This right here is where my time needs to go. And yeah, I hope you enjoy. And if you, like I said, if you got any ideas or something suggestions that would help me in my quest to not only level up as far as my skills, but to make this image or any image I'm working on look a little doper, then please comment down below. I really appreciate it. Absolutely appreciate it. You have no idea how much I appreciate it. So, and yeah, you don't have to subscribe. You don't have to like. I really don't. I'm not monetized. I'm not here for that. I'm just here to draw and encourage people to do the same. And if you're an AI guy who likes or who doesn't like people who draw, that's fine. I like you. You have a creative bug in you, just like all of us. And AI these days is amazing. Listen, man, I don't blame you. I don't blame you. The stuff that stuff AI puts out is incredible, and I do not blame you for using it. I don't blame people for using it who want to save a buck. A lot of times, illustrators and artists are flaky. So yeah, I said this before, I'll say it again. I think AI generated images, I won't call it art. I just can't. I will call it AI generated images, or AGIs. It will level the playing field. It will, for artists who are really committed to honing their craft, right? So it will weed out the people who give up, right? It's unfortunate, considering a lot of people, they do art and illustration because they enjoy it, right? And if you're that type of person, I encourage you, man, don't give up. Right? And if all you want to do is make money, then yeah, give up. Give up. It's over for you. I'm kidding, actually, but it's a lot tougher for you because of AI, and that's fine. I have no problem with AI. I really don't. Will I use it? Nah, I don't need it. I'm capable of creating something on my own. I'm not saying that people who use AI are not capable of creating something on their own. What I'm saying is it's a benefit to a lot of people who can't do something quickly and are trying to save $1, and I'm with that. The problem I would have with it, however, is trying to sell it off as if it's your own and demanding top dollar as if you're illustrating it like a real artist. Yes, a real artist. I'm not mad at you, though. I'm not trying to insult you. I don't even call myself an artist, all right? So I let people who think or who look at my work, and if they want to call me an artist, guess what? I'm not gonna argue with you. I just think it's weird when people call themselves artists, even if they do illustrate, especially if they don't, right? So it's really weird. I'm a prompt artist, you know. It sounds weird. It's cringy. I feel cringy if I were to say I'm an artist, right? Because I think that's something that people call you, not something you call yourself. But yeah, it doesn't bother me if you call yourself an artist. That's fine. It's just a little weird, especially if you're not drawing yourself. Can we agree on that? If not, then I apologize for disagreeing with you, but I think we can all at least agree to disagree on some things, right? And still be cordial and friendly. Because you know what I did just right now? I'm talking crap, right? I'm talking. Just let me talk because it's not important. I should shut up and draw because I mentioned earlier that this this logo was a placeholder, and now I'm inking it because, yeah. Anyways, so yeah, you watch me live, make mistakes, and take L's, right? This is the wonderful thing about improvisation is its truth. Now that we put ourselves in a situation where we have to correct, do we get all mad and like, oh my God, I can't believe it? Nah, chill out. All this stuff is correctable. It's not digital, so it's not as easy to correct, but it's still easy to correct. And that's why this gives me an opportunity to give up some secrets, toss some pearls, baby. All right? Since all of us are pretty much swine. Including myself, man. I ain't fucking, I'm not separating myself from everybody else. Someone taught me this as well, so let's pass it on. Let's learn something about making mistakes, right? You gotta have the courage to make mistakes. You gotta feel very comfortable with it. Don't, what's the word I'm looking for? Don't be upset with yourself. Don't kick yourself in the head. Because there's always solution, right? Every math problem has a solution, and I don't know, it's art, it's not math. But think about it in a similar way. Of course, a lot of this is math, right? Even if you don't know numbers, it's still like you're measuring, right? Composition, right? We have these buildings coming up, right? We have these guys moving in this direction, so there's a lot of geometry going on here. Not just that, but also to illustrate a thing that could actually exist, right? There's actual gravity and architecture going on here within this little scene. Okay, so and believe me, I hate numbers too. Not a fan, but I recognize that they're essential in I guess doing some kind of piece of art that you are happy with, okay? You want to be happy with your art. And if you're not, that's fine too. You should, there's a guy on YouTube that I love. I can't recall his name at the moment, but he's like, embrace the ugly, your ugly art. And I'm like, yeah, do that because you'd be surprised on how much you learn from making your mistakes and, you know, I'm with it. Alright, so I'm gonna work on her guns, right? And her little pellets here I gotta work on too. For now I'm gonna erase them. I just had them there for placeholders. I know where they're gonna go, so I can work on that. And this, I mentioned this before, this eraser's got so much finger grease on it because I'm a greasy guy. Right. And let's see if this one's any better. They might be all greasy. I usually use an architect's camel hair brush. Camel hair or mole hair? I can't remember. I use camel hair. It's an old school brush where it would keep my greasy fingers from smudging my illustration board. Unfortunately, I can't find it right now, so we have this problem. But it's not a terrible problem because we can scan this in and clean it up digitally before we go to print. You gotta scan it anyways if you're going to print. The old days, we took a photostat, which is basically a photograph. These days, you scan it. It goes through a whole computer digital process in order to go to the next step of printing. So you have to scan it in anyways. So may as well clean it while you're there. Let's see. All right, let's get in heavy with these inks up here because that is what happens up here. And yeah, I told you I was gonna fix that there. So what I want is I want to spot these darker areas really quick. Okay. And we're gonna come all the way down, maybe behind her with this, so. All right. And I like this brush here because it allows you to go nice and thin, like something like this. And as well as bam, something like this. So that's that, and I'm gonna. Now the problem when I first started doing this kind of stuff, like in the 80s and 90s, I used to love using Sharpie, chisel tips, and just like fat markers, just to cover this type of space. Because look how delicate this brush is. This brush is actually, but I love the precision of it though. But this brush, since it covers Like, look at that. See that? See what I'm saying? It's not like one of those old markers that'll just pow, 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 and cover this up really, really quick. The problem with that is, right, is that those markers, the kind of ink that goes in them, especially on archival Bristol board, will fade. They'll either turn a weird purple and they'll blur, they'll bleed as well. So they'll turn a weird purple or a brownish color. Why that is, I don't know. There's obviously some kind of chemical reason for that, but I miss them because I would have been done covering this whole area by now if I were able to use them. And I am able to use them, I just don't like the way they degrade after a couple of years. So. And that only happens with Bristol board, okay? So it's amazing. They do not bleed and blur like that and fade like that when you draw on regular typing paper. The only problem with that is that regular typing paper is not archival. But yeah, I have examples of illustrations on regular typing paper. No bleed, no fade. It looks just as good as it did when I first laid down those inks using those particular non-archival ink brands. Problem with that is, typing paper is going to turn yellow, it's going to grade a lot sooner than this illustration. Bristol will. All right, so yeah, just learn from that. What's happening? I already said what's up to Richard, right? Got 2 viewers, 7 likes. Hey, feel free to, if you like this video, press like. If you dislike it, press dislike, man. I'm open for any positive, negative critiques. Feedback is lovely. I enjoy interacting with an audience. To be honest with you, I'm trying to feel more comfortable doing that because as much as I'm a social, like I love, being social and having a drink or two and talking to people, it's just not, it's counterproductive to me actually drawing. And although I have drawn live, right, sometimes before COVID, there used to be things called raves, right? And sometimes you get a big rave, and you get a bunch of artists who would paint or draw live, here and there, just for the entertainment, right? I used to love that. I used to go in there and paint, and I just paint live, improvise, and just freestyle some cool imagery, right? Usually on like large canvases. Really fast and quick, so that way people can see it happen before you. And now my girl's coming in with her dog, so you'll probably hear her. You probably hear her talking to the dog. So no, it's cool, but whatever. All right, now these right here, you can shake them up and squeeze, right? And usually, right, you can hear that. Oh, there you go. See? Look at that. That's okay. See that? That's not a problem. That's not a problem. It could be worse, believe. It could definitely be worse than that. So we want to take advantage of all that ink that just squirted and get as much coverage as possible. Yeah, my Pentel just busted a nut, and it's just on top of my drawing. Must have got excited, right? See that little drop right there? We're going to leave it there. We can use it as a planetary feature on that planet. All right? We're all about making mistakes and using those to our advantage. Okay, because what else are you gonna do? Bitch and complain? Nah, can't do that. Ain't got time for that. Like I said, there's always a solution to a problem, even if that means, and I'm gonna show you right now, what that could mean besides just letting it stay and using it to your advantage. And we call that this. Or, right, this is what we call a white medium, which can refine or fix mistakes used by the dark medium, and vice versa. In this case, I use Presto. It's an interesting. It's not a brush. It's a ballpoint, which you need to shake up and squeeze, squeeze and press down. Right, and I use this for a lot of things. Now, I've recently heard these are not archival and they fade over time. I've got some work that's, I know these are meant to last hundreds of years, but I've got works of art that are over 10, 15 years old where this has not faded. So maybe after 20, 25 years it fades. I don't know. I would like to see examples of that before I believe it. And there probably are examples. I know people beat up artwork just transporting it from one place to another, right? So it's possible that this might not be the best. But there are posh pens. You can use gouache, white acrylic medium. There's actually white ink, just particularly made for this type of thing as correction fluid. So use what is best, what you think is best, and I will do the same. But yeah, if you can recommend anything better than the Prestos, feel free to comment down below, and I appreciate anything I can learn from somebody else's arsenal of knowledge, and we can all get along. All right, so let's try to squeeze that. Oh, see that bubble out there? See that bubble? It's like a snot bubble. All right. Now, when you buy these pens, at first there's a tube inside of them filled with ink. Right? It's good ink. The problem is that they rig these tubes with a little bit of oil, some kind of oil in the back of them, so that once they're done, you can't use them again. You can't refill them, right? Which is like, I get it, but man, that's like, it sucks, right? You can't reuse it. They purposely make them so that you cannot refill them. You gotta buy them. So, but there is a workaround for that. You pull the tube out, and then you just use this basic squeezy container to fill up with ink, and you get a nice flow, but then you get dry bursts like I'm getting right now, and then you get these bubbles that spit. Right? See the bubbles? Right. So, you got to learn to work around that. I mean, I could just as easily be using a sable brush and dipping it in an inkwell, right? So, hey, whatever works the best, go for that, do that. And even if you get a ballpoint pen, some Crayola crayons, man, come on. You can use anything to make some kind of mark or image. You can use wine or coffee too. Get a Q-tip and you can illustrate something on a napkin with coffee or something like wine. Something like wine will actually dye wood, right? And all you got to do is you layer it on top of each other to get darker. Of course, you water it down, spread it out to get nice transparent, fades or whatever. Yes, I have worked with wine and coffee during live artwork, so You got to experiment. A lot of times you have to. It's always good to test your limits, see how far you can go with what medium. And besides learning how to, you learn how to work with that medium. You learn how, you learn its weaknesses and its benefits, and it's just learning. So yeah. All right, so you guys can see where I'm headed here with this so far. If you can get the gist. There should be a building right here. I think I erased it. So, yeah, there's me. Let's do that. Let's put it back. How much time am I having? 56 minutes. Okay, I'm rolling up on an hour. I was going to be here for an hour today, so I have 4 minutes and I'm out. Probably be back a little later, but don't want to be here more than an hour. I got other stuff to do. So let's put that building in real quick and we'll get out of here. Building goes right here. We're following that line. As you can see, the buildings, right, they converge to a vanishing point up here. We're going to use that same vanishing point to keep all these buildings in the same perspective. All right, so it comes down like this. Right? There you go. And the building's going to go like this. And fade in underneath these clouds here. And go like this out here on the side. Maybe even go like this, right? And put some windows in there. Just so you can see what's going on. Yeah, switch tray flip. Yeah, man. I gotta keep that ink in stock, man. I need to refill these bad boys. It's really difficult to refill them. You need like a syringe or something because the dry dropper, forget about it, man. You'll be here forever. But yeah, you definitely, man, you caught that, huh? You could probably look at you probably just saw the brush and you're like, oh, that motherfucker needs some ink. Oh, didn't mean to curse, but like that dude needs some ink, man. Yes, I do. But we're gonna go ahead and take advantage of, because sometimes when your brush see how it's splitting like that, right? There's ways to use that split that I am not expert at, but and I don't really need to use that for any of those reasons right now, so I'm not gonna make an attempt to show you what can be done. I mean, basically, look, right there. See how it gives you a double, right? You can actually use that, right? I've known and I've actually heard about comic book illustrators like from the 50s. Like Wally Wood. Like he'll pull out brushes from somebody's garbage because it looks like this, and he'll put it to use, right? It's also a good thing to do. But for me right now, I'm just trying to fill in these dark areas, right? Blocking out, blocking in, blocking out, whatever. You know what I'm talking about. If you sling ink and you make marks like me, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And I appreciate you, man. You working on anything right now? Switch to tray flip. Really curious as to know. Because, man, independent stuff, that's where it's at. So, there's a lot of good stuff coming out on that tip, on the independent. So yeah, man, if you're like me and working on something, man, I encourage you to put it out there. Let us all enjoy it, right? And we're on an hour and 14 seconds, man. I appreciate everyone who came. Check out this video. I'm about to creep out. But I will see you soon. If not today, then tomorrow. All right, peace.